Hi, Aquarius rising sign. Here is your weekly forecast starting on the 16th of March until the 23rd of March. I think this is quite a monumental week for you because your ruling planet Saturn is quite a central character in all this like celestial drama that is happening right now. Saturn and Neptune, of course, are sitting at the core of your Great reset. What is that great reset? The sun is moving into the sign of Aries, and therefore it is highlighting the Neptune and Saturn energy for you. Um, so you're gonna have to be able to ground that energy a little bit, but there is definitely this fated redirection in your money house, the great reset in the way you communicate within your local environment, within your way of thinking. I think this is about moving from a quiet strategic position to more of a bold, kind of like conscious stand, taking the lead in your life. I would say that this is kind of like you having to become a conscious architect. You're going to have to make things real. So, but let's break this down. Obviously, with Mercury retrograde happening twice this week, at the beginning of the week, it's Mercury who is retrograde, and at the end of the week, Mercury is going to be direct. All happens in your second house. And this is the area of your life that deals with money, assets, values, your fundamental self-worth. So think back to mid-February. Maybe you had to be having a critical discussion about salary, about a contract or investments that might have gone a little bit quiet, or because Mercury is ruling debt in your chart, so you might have had to kind of like maybe you proposed how you're going to pay your mortgage or your loan back, and or someone who owes you money, and we had discussions about it, but it kind of went quiet. So this topic can return to you, but with a bit of a twist though. So you might receive a message from a former client, you get a legal document about a property potentially, or an inheritance document. This is a karmic rewrite of your finances. You are being very much asked to face the deep truth when it comes to your resources so that you can finally move forward. The sun is also in your second house, sextile Uranus in your fourth, and it happens at the same time when Venus is actually squaring Jupiter as well. So I would say that it's definitely an internal breakthrough, which comes with a lot of wisdom. That happens because of the Venus-Jupiter square, but on top of that, Isis, Apollo, Eros enters your sixth house as well on the very same day. So it might be an unconventional insight you share publicly or a private realization you act on professionally in your daily task flow. Maybe something that gets unexpected attention from authority figures, for example. It might be a career move that you have been thinking about. It might be about looking at the technical details of certain type of documents, for example, trying to find flows in them as well. However, watch out for impulsive relationship energies, or we can have a lash out at co-workers or siblings, as well as watching out for spending way too much money on something. And the reason being is because, of course, you have got a very heavy second house there, and it's Pisces. So when we are emotionally not at the right place, then it's highly possible to, um, to spend a little bit more money rather than being kind of smart about it. So, like I said, the sixth house is getting quite activated there. Um, with three asteroids moving into that house, sixth house, and that's the house of daily work and health. So I can imagine that um, you want to be fixing something up in your life. So what happens really here is that Apollo and Isis together is very much about the restoration. And what I want to be restoring something to make it functional. So Apollo is trying to show you the true work destination, and Isis is helping you to reassemble that functional identity. Maybe after being a little bit or feeling scattered or misaligned on your path, but maybe you are thinking about going back to work, or you are thinking about how to fix up some of your finances, or what type of work to do, which is actually a true fit for you. With Eros moving into your sixth house as well, this is a commitment or a collaborative work project, or maybe you're thinking about specializing in something that you get kind of like passionate about. And you might want to be kind of like creating something behind closed doors. There is definitely a little bit more of a fire here, or you feel like that somehow you are being pushed to kind of come up with a creative idea because you might feel kind of like an existential crisis situation. And therefore, these energies are going to be asking you to become more productive, even more creative as well. Thank God we've got the Mars and Jupiter trine happening this week as well. And this is about self-promotion, potentially. So let's say you have been waiting for the perfect moment to start a new like daily health challenge or a daily health routine. This could be really helping you. This could be helping you to be a little bit more organized when it comes to certain type of work projects. Or you want to be asked, or you want to be implementing certain type of changes connected to your finances or work, the way you work. This could be brilliant for that. Remember, Mars is the planet of action. So without taking action on a work project, for example, or on your daily life, Jupiter's beneficial energy is not going to be that present. You might just end up being in the tide and then waiting for that opportunity to come around. It's not going to give you anything. But also, this could be talking to you about certain type of a win, a financial win, maybe over debts, or potentially if you feel kind of discriminated or belittled at work. And then if you open your mouth about it, you talk about it because Mars rules your third house, the communication, and actually you can have a sense of winning there. Now, Sun is moving into your third house, making that conjunction to Neptune and Saturn. And I would say that's a turning point. That's a great reset of your deepest functioning and vitality as well. And it's somehow bringing some of these um, dreams together with a structured plan, and then we're going to have to be able to commit to it. Let's say you need to be committing to forming the right connections with others. Let it be employment or relationship matters as well. Saturn wants to secure that. Maybe you are ready to commit, for example, to a contract, or you are ready to formalize a certain type of a legal matter because the sun rules legalities in your chart as well. It's the ruler of your seventh house. And then, of course, with Mercury and North Node, the last conjunction happens on the same day when Juno and Uranus are trining as well. So I can really imagine that maybe at the beginning of the week you are still uncertain about how this financial kind of wind wall is going to be playing out, but it might be settling by the end of the week. And maybe this is when we're going to sign an agreement or you get a certain type of an offer. And maybe someone is going to be able to give you a bit of a hint of how they would approach this type of scenario, how to restructure relationships or financial matters. So I think you have been auditing your finances for a while. But now it's about anchoring your mindset a little bit, potentially looking at unconventional ways of making money. Maybe you make a decision about selling a property, for example. This could really talk to us about certain type of fated type of connections that you might be making. Maybe you sit down with a coworker of yours and then we decide to kind of launch something together. I would also say that maybe you have been waiting on a payment or a budget approval or a raise, something that kind of got stuck in mid-February, and then the message can come to you. And it might look like it was kind of like a delay at first, but maybe this is just a redirection, actually, trying to make you realize that the way you charge for your time or services, for example, or the way you manage your resources wasn't sustainable enough. So there's a restructuring on certain type of deals. With Jupiter being in your sixth house, squaring Venus, Jupiter wants to grow your business. And Venus might be telling you that if you want to be, growing your business, you're going to have to be able to promote yourself. It's not necessarily about saying yes to every single business opportunity, every single coffee date, every single local event. So you're going to have a filter here. Because the danger of that is that you can overschedule yourself. You can think that you can handle 5 meetings at the same time, or I'm going to take 5 gym sessions a day, you know. But you have to be able to choose with that, which is going to be which is going to keep me a little bit busier, but which is the most productive one as well at the same time. And I can imagine, with getting a very strong sixth house now by three, asteroids and Jupiter, this could be physically draining you a little bit. It could make you a little bit more scattered with your work. And Apollo is trying to kind of shine light on that. And Isis is trying to make you kind of like reassess or reassemble kind of like a schedule in your life so that you can tackle the bottlenecks better and then the workflow can, become more productive as well. And Mars and Jupiter says that with that beautiful trine that yeah, we need to take action. We cannot think about a new diet or a new business opportunity anymore. We have to implement something here. And with that Sun, Neptune, Saturn kind of like trigger, that's about a great reset in your mindset. Let's decide that you finally write that book. Are you going to launch that course? I'm going to be marketing myself. Then this week should turn out in the bestest possible way for you. So, this is your weekly energy pattern, Aquarius, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.